An iconic music festival 50 years ago that was largely forgotten until now. For decades, it was a story that went untold. But thanks to the discovery of long-forgotten footage, the Oscar-nominated documentary Summer of Soul brings us inside the Harlem Music Festival. I got a chance to sit down with musician and director Questlove to talk about his journey back to 1969 and his first Oscar nod.
And now, here are the nominees for Best Documentary Feature. Summer of Soul, or When the Revolution Could Not Be Televised.
Well, first off, congratulations on the Oscar nom.
Thank you.
Give me a sense of where you were, how you heard, your first reaction, all that.
Oscar morning, I just stayed in my pajamas and, like, you know, just woke up and sat there and listened. And I'm like, So when they said that, I ran out in the hallway of my apartment and woke up my neighbor screaming.
When you did it, I mean, this is your first documentary right out of the gate. Did you have expectations like, yeah, I'm gonna get that Oscar for this?
Never. I came into this thing so backwards. One, I didn't believe this event ever happened. And I'm not alone. Even all the people I interviewed, like, the reason why I'm so emotional and you see, like, so many people crying is because no one believed them either. Like, imagine that. Like, if Stevie Wonder and Sly and the Family Stone give a free concert in Harlem, and over 300,000 people get to see this in the summer of '69, and there's not one bit of documentation about it. Once I got it and saw how precious it was, because the first thing they showed me is Mavis Staples and Mahalia Jackson. And
Precious Lord.
Yeah, the Precious Lord sequence where they're talking about, like, this is the last thing that Martin Luther King talked about before he was assassinated, and I realized that, I have to restore history. I have to right a wrong. So this isn't even about me or about my ability to make a film. To me, this was like my chance to restore the lost history of Black people, of something that was buried for 50 years.
That same summer, 1969, another big music festival just 100 miles away.
Yeah.
People talk about is this cultural revolution that is memorialized still today. And even when we talk about the idea of Black erasure, how did we not know about the Harlem Music Festival, even among Black people?
There's so many performances, so many magical moments in this Harlem Cultural Festival that could have spoken to me or could have saved my friends' lives. Like, you never know when that moment where you see something and it sparks an idea, an inspiration, and totally changes the trajectory of where your life is. And, you know, I still got to this destination without that film, but millions of people, not just Black people, but millions of people were really just denied what could have been a really awesome view of what we call Black joy.
I'd like to go back to the olden days. Pick a thing out for you. Simply goes like this. I've got sunshine on a cloudy day.
Which, now that I finished this film, I realized that that story is just as important as the other stories when you talk about the civil rights period, because, you know, you've seen us beaten down, you've seen us killed, you've seen dogs attack us, you've seen but you don't get to see a human side of us smiling, having fun, and I felt like this could have been a tool that really humanized us and made us relatable to people. The fact that we were treated like savages, and this could have made a difference. And so, for me, I'm never going to discount Black joy ever.
Strictly just on a music level for a moment, when I was watching, it was the Mavis Staples, Mahalia Jackson part that just did it for me.
Yeah.
Music-wise, what was it for you that you were like, oh?
Well, music-wise, I had so many questions because, you know, how do 15 microphones manage to capture so much magic? You know, my drum set alone when I do a root show is like 19 microphones. So, music-wise, I will say that probably the most perfect presentation was hands down Nina Simone. Which is why we saved her for the end. And suddenly the events that are happening are now almost parallel to what was happening that led up to the festival. And so all the turmoil, all the, we were without a vaccine, there was mistrust in the election results, there was like George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, so there was riots in the streets, and suddenly Nina Simone's fire and her voice became the more apropos ending for the film.
What do you hope that viewers take away? Because I think, again, on the surface, some people are thinking this is about music. When I saw it, I thought this is political, this is cultural, this is religious, this is about race at the same time. What do you hope the takeaway is?
I want people to see our humanity. For me, we're just now, as Black people, having the conversation about mental health, where before I think like religion was the only thing that we knew. Like we didn't trust confiding in people about what's happening up here. For those artists, like to be creative in a time of turmoil, that's major. That's a creative release. And I wanted people to see the humanity. And I think that's what comes through more. Like come for the entertainment, but leave with an understanding.
You do the interview with Fifth Dimension, and they pose the question, how do you color a sound?
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if you feel that, especially getting the Oscar nomination, does music transcend race, and especially do we see an example of that here, that it's getting embraced by the Academy?
I feel that this music humanizes race, and I think that the common factor of any disenfranchised people, and this could be for Black people, this could be for refugees, this could be for the LGBTQIA community, this could be for women, like any marginalized, disenfranchised community of people. I think the common denominator is they're searching for their humanity. And I think what makes me different as a director than, say, a traditional director is that I have a different set of eyes and ears that your average director would miss. And as a person that's been in that position, where one night I'm with Wu-Tang Clan or Lauryn Hill, and the next night I'm with Rage Against the Machine or Beck, and you have to code switch. And, I think any Black person like that's in a professional setting is very familiar with code switching, where, you're never at ease and, your diction has to be perfect and everything, and you can't quite be yourself. And I'm really glad they dropped their guard to let me know that they felt like they were in a rock and a hard place where for Black people, they weren't Black enough, and for white people, they were too Black. And where do we fit in?
So last year, you were the 5th Black musical director at the Oscars. This year, you're hoping to take one of those trophies home.
Yeah.
How does it feel?
All of this is happening now is it's beyond my wildest dreams. But, I still maintain that if this film wins the Oscar, then that's the beginning of this film spreading out into the world. So, if they are to award this dubious honor, I'm grateful to be the channel or the bridge that led traffic. But that's all I am. I'm the world's luckiest traffic cop right now.
Perhaps we'll see that lucky traffic cop on stage winning an Oscar soon. Our thanks to Questlove for that. And you can catch Summer of Soul right now on Hulu.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.